Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and we're going to be answering questions from Raider Nation. We went live on Tuesday, and if you see any question up here on the screen, remember it's from one of our loyal Raiders Report subscribers, and we go live every single Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific, unless there's breaking news like, I don't know, Jonathan Abram getting released. Let's go to Sir Chai. Unpopular opinion. Let's go off of Kolton Miller and John Simpson. Are you saying to get rid of Kolton Miller? Yeah, no, you're not going to let go of Kolton Miller. You can let go of John Simpson. In fact, Simpson's not going to be on the team next season. Miller, though, he hasn't had as good of a season. I was definitely hoped that he would take a step up. He's been disappointing. He's still your best offensive lineman. You're not going to move on from him. Daniel, Caps Keenan, Tank, drop Carr, get rookie quarterback. Have shiz load of money to upgrade other positions. Quarterback on a rookie deal equals more money to spend. You're right. More money to spend if your quarterback isn't on a big-time deal. Though DC's really only making $19 million this season, so it's not crazy amounts of money. I do think, though, you're going to see the Raiders move on from Carr and go with a younger quarterback. Let's go to Eric Mitchell. Will Levis is the only QB I would want to draft. If I was close to Will Levis, I actually would tell Levis to go back to college. I think he needs another year to mature. I wouldn't want Levis to be our starting quarterback. I would want Levis to learn behind someone, whether that is Derek Carr in a cheaper contract, whether that's a Jimmy Garoppolo, whether you bring in a free agent QB. To me, Will Levis is not ready to start in the NFL right away. Let's go to Abra. Any update on Magic Johnson buying some stake in the Raiders? Legend from my favorite basketball movie. Unfortunately, no updates on that. I hope that Mark Davis just says, hey, Magic, do you want to run this thing? And hopefully Magic says yes. Let's go to MD. MD, thank you for supporting the Raiders Report. I think you said in two. Double MDs. Next guy coming in here is Fat Bearded Dad. If we take another L and McDaniels isn't fired, I'm officially done with this team this season. I would love to see them fire McDaniels and hire Woodson as an intern. I mean, that'd be kind of funny because you would lose to Jeff Saturday, a former player who has no coaching experience, and then you would hire Woodson. Woodson, though, personally, I don't think he would want to do it. He's just too focused on his wine and whiskey business that he's got going on right now. And on top of that, I hope that you're kidding because I get how frustrated the season is, but to me, you still got to watch every single game because people who watch every game, then in the offseason, we can have real-life conversations of who needs to stay, who needs to go, all that type of stuff. If the Raiders lose to the Colts, though, with whoever the hell they put at quarterback, likely no Jonathan Taylor, and then an interim head coach who's not even on the team 3 days ago, and an OC who's 30 years old and has never called a single play in the NFL, McDaniels deserves to be fired. And I'm going to say it. I know what all the reports said, that Mark Davis said that McDaniels' job is safe. I'm calling BS. If you lose to the Colts, there's a part of me that really, truly believes that the Raiders fire McDaniels because I was told Mark Davis is very frustrated on some of the money that he spent this offseason and he's not getting a return on his investment. That's what I was told. Now, I would never want you guys to miss anything. So get the latest going on around the Raiders all season long, 24/7, 365. We got you covered. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications because if the Raiders do something, especially if it's big enough news, we're going to be going live. Will you stop? All right, Austin. As a Ravens fan, I said $400 million over 6 years with $275 guaranteed, so I completely agree with you on your opinion to get Lamar. My opinion on Lamar was $250 million guaranteed dollars, but that was actually over 5 years. If I was going to offer Lamar Jackson a 6-year contract, I would give him $300 million fully guaranteed. Let's go to John Keith. It was nothing against you, Chugs. I just hate the Astros. F the Stros. F the Stros. Let's go to Aggie. It's a great answer, though, John. So if Lamar ends up a Raider but McDummie is head coach, what's the odds that he ruins Lamar and tries to change his style of play to fit his scheme? I hope that you wouldn't be dumb enough to do that. I hope that you would be smart enough to realize that Lamar Jackson isn't like any quarterback you've ever had before. It would make me a little nervous because the worst season McDaniels ever had was with a mobile quarterback in Cam Newton. Here's the thing, though. Cam Newton looked like an NFL MVP, his first 4 weeks. And then NFL defenses realized what they were doing, and Cam wasn't good enough to keep up. What if Lamar is good enough? What if Lamar is literally good enough to run McDaniels' system? Because I think the one thing that this system needs is somebody who can take a little bit of lead, and Carr has missed a lot of throws. I mean, he has. Like, we have to be able to face the facts. He's missed a lot. But I also really, really hope if you go out and get Lamar Jackson, you pay him that much money, your system does not stay the exact same. There's no way it can stay the exact same. If you try to run the exact same system that you do with Derek Carr and Lamar Jackson, you don't deserve to be an NFL head coach. Let's go to Hellcat Q. Hellcat Q. Everybody spam Hellcat Q69 in the chat. What up, Hellcat? You think we sign anyone? If so, who? Who would you want? Right now, if I was the Raiders in free agency, I would look at linebacker because Divine Diablo, he's on IR. He's going to miss at least the next 4 weeks. If I was the Raiders, I'd say, hey, Donta Hightower, what's cracking, lacking? I'd say, hey, Jamie Collins. Or no, I think Collins actually been signed. I would look for somebody who I could put on my team. Maybe a Landon Collins could be another name to keep in mind. Somebody that's been able to run in Patrick Graham systems before. Let's go to Hector. Raiders have the number 3 overall pick right now. Who would you pick? Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson. I actually think it's very easy to be the number 3 pick. Whoever's left, that's who I would take, because Will Anderson to me reminds me of Von Miller in terms of just being a pure edge rusher at linebacker. And then your top 2 quarterbacks to me, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud. So with that being said, shout out to Chugs. Who would you pick? Bryce Young type BY, C.J. Stroud type CS, Will Anderson WA, or would you go with somebody completely different that I did not list? Who would you pick at number 3 overall if you were the Raiders? Let's go to Brian Shoemaker. Gruden head coach and Chugs the O-line. Not a Trump guy, so I'll say no to that. Let's go to John Keith. I don't know how McDaniels hasn't been fired yet, especially after the Colts dropped their coach. It's because Mark Davis is just too proud and doesn't want to swallow his pride and say, hey, I was wrong. They're trying to sit up here and say that they're looking at it long-term. They're looking at the long-term picture. My thing would be this, though. If it's been this big of a disaster now, what makes you think there's going to be some drastic improvement? Even if it improves a little bit, it's still a disaster. Let's go to Huts, LA 88. Raiders defense has been this team's problem for 20-plus years. The Raiders defense has been the Achilles heel, and I don't think that anybody would disagree with you in saying that. You're not wrong. But also the defense has been a problem. The quarterback position has been a problem. The Raiders haven't had a good quarterback since Derek's been good, but Derek hasn't won anything, so you really have nothing to lose by moving on from D.C. You haven't had a good quarterback since what, Rich Gannon? Like, realistically, Rich Gannon, probably your last good quarterback. You could say not having a QB is right up there with having as bad of a defense as what they've had because, like I've seen over the past 2 seasons, people are going to point the finger at the Raiders' defense. The Raiders' offense last season was so bad at the end of the year that it put a lot more pressure on the defense. Early on this season even, the Raiders' offense, when it hasn't been able to move the football, the defense has struggled. Quarterback's been a problem too, man. But defense has been the Achilles heel. So, guys, we're doing a giveaway here on the Raiders Report. All you got to do is go to that link that you guys see down there below. It's called chatsports.com/Valley Brothers. So, my cousin, his name is Andrew. He owns this Facebook group where they sell autographed helmets. And if you guys give them a follow on Facebook right now, you have the opportunity to win the Josh Jacobs signed helmet that is pictured on screen. It is an official Raiders helmet signed by Raiders running back Josh Jacobs. So here are your steps. All you got to do, follow Valley Brothers Collectibles on Facebook. The link is down there below. You can comment on the Jacobs post. I've been told that that's going to help out your chances to win. And got to be subbed to the Raiders Report. Jeremy and I are going to announce the winner on Sunday during our live watch party. Probably going to be right around the end of the third quarter, entering the fourth. For a chance to win a signed Josh Jacobs helmet, all you got to do, go give them a follow. Chatsports.com/Valley Brothers. Another super chat coming in here from Christopher Leonard. Is Robert Gallery available? Robert Gallery. I have no idea. No idea. I was going to say, I don't know who Robert Gallery even is. Christopher, cheers. Aaron Sosa, re-signed Josh Jacobs. See, if I'm Jacobs, I'm either going to want a brand new deal, so an extension, or I wouldn't want this if I was Jacobs, but the franchise tag. Because the Raiders, I think the only way you're going to get him back is if you franchise tag him. You could let him hit free agency. You could let him test the open market like Waters. If the Raiders keep struggling and Jacobs' numbers go down, then, maybe he's not worth as much. If you want to guarantee him back on the Raiders, though, you got to franchise tag him. That's going to cost you about $12.7 million. This next one is coming in from Millie. OBJ cleared his physical. Should we try to get him? I've heard enough OBJ talk. I live down here in Dallas, and when you get a guy like, what's his name, Cowboys owner, Jerry Jones, talking about OBJ, I already hear it enough. I have always said, though, I don't really believe that the Raiders need OBJ. I changed my answer on that. If Odell Beckham Jr. wanted to come to the Raiders to spark this Raiders passing game, I would do it. The Raiders passing game right now might be one of the biggest letdowns in all of the NFL in terms of what the expectation was compared to what you're getting. So if OBJ wanted to come to Las Vegas, hell yeah, man. We'd take him in a freaking heartbeat. Robert Gallery used to play guard for the Raiders. So, again, that's me not knowing an old offensive lineman in the early 2000s. That's on me. So should the Raiders sign Odell Beckham? Type OBJ for yes or type no BJ for no. Depending on what it costs, my answer is yes. If you think that Beckham can re-spark your offense, your passing game, I say you do it. You got nothing to lose. You're 2-6. You have nothing to frickin' lose. Next one coming in here from Scoomy_homie. Should have kept Ngakoue F. Chandler Jones. We got Rock Ya-Sin. I don't know why people don't like Rock Ya-Sin. Rock Ya-Sin, I'll still take Rock Ya-Sin over Yannick Ngakoue in terms of how they played and the overall fit of the defense. Yeah, Chandler Jones has been a major disappointment. He really has been. Ngakoue, to me, would not have been a good fit with what the Raiders are trying to do. He would not have been. He's not good against the run. He might even be worse against the run than Chandler Jones. But you were able to get Rock at corner. Imagine not having Rock Ya-Sin at cornerback right now. It'd be arguably the worst cornerback room in the NFL without Nate Hobbs. So I get it, but I still think the Raiders did the right thing in that trade. Let's go to Alvin G818. Trade for Sean McVay. Rams are never going to do that, so we might as well. How much? I mean, if it costs 2 first-rounders and like 2 second-rounders for Gruden back in 2000, if I'm the Rams, I'd say give me 5 first-round picks for Sean McVay. The other issue is this. The Rams don't value first-round picks. Oh, no. Let's go to Juice89. Lamar with Sean Payton, we winning multiple Super Bowls. I don't disagree with you whatsoever. Sean Payton won a Super Bowl, I believe, back in 2009. He's got a career record of like 152-80. One of the best head coaches. He's not a head coach right now. And then you had an MVP in Lamar Jackson. Yeah, you're winning multiple Super Bowls. At least that would be the goal. Corville in 360. Will Sidney Jones start this week against the Colts? I'm going to say yes. If I'm the Raiders, there's not a chance in hell I let Anthony Averett get back out there on the football field because he's been absolutely disgraceful. So, actually, on that note, perfect. Shout out to Jeremy. Show the Raiders bench Anthony Averett. Type B for bench, type S for start. You got to bench him. Or you can throw in more mixtures, sounds weird saying that, of Sam Webb. Sam Webb deserves more playing time. Maybe Nickel Roby-Coleman deserves a little bit more time. All I know is this, the recipe of Anthony Averett out there, it ain't working. Anthony Averett is giving me major Damon Arnett vibes. Let's go to John Keith. OBJ would be nice if a deal could be under the salary cap, but the Chiefs have been cutting salary cap recently. Something to look out for. I mean, the Raiders right now have more money, I believe, in salary cap than the Chiefs, and even if Raiders are going to be somewhere around like over $9 million, Beckham's not going to get over $9 million. I mean, there's only half a season left, nine weeks. If Beckham gets $3 million, I'll be surprised. Raiders have the money to do it if they want to. Hector, Lamar is great, but he's very high risk for injury. The way he runs the ball, he could be in worse situation if that happens. I say put the money into the defense. Every player is injury prone. I mean, Derek doesn't run the football. He's got back issues this year. He's been hurt in the past or he's battled through injuries. Yeah, Lamar's going to be injury prone, but you know what? He's a top 5 NFL quarterback. If you got an opportunity to get a top 5 quarterback that's as dynamic as Lamar Jackson, and you say no to that just because of the potential risk for an injury, that's not great. Also, though, Lamar's a good thrower. Lamar can throw a football It's going to hurt your all's feelings. Better than Derek Carr. If you told Lamar Jackson that he is never allowed to run again, he's still a better passer than Derek Carr. That's how much better I think Lamar Jackson is than DC right now. Let's go to Isaac. Since Ziegler wants picks so bad, trade Josh McDummy. I would take a bowl of soup right now over Josh McDaniels. Now, guys, remember, you can always interact with me on social media, Twitter, Instagram. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. And if you want even more exclusive content, you can hit me up on Locals, RaidersReport.locals.com. 1 live video, 2 exclusive videos every single week is how you can interact with me. Now, also, if you can't join our live shows because maybe you're working, maybe you're busy, you can also send in Super Thanks. Super Thanks is basically like a super chat, though it's on a video that's not live. Right underneath it, there's a big heart with a dollar symbol. We'll give you shout-outs here on the Raiders Report for Super Thanks. DC holds the ball too long. Shout out to Craig. I try not to knock him, but he isn't mobile enough. When a play is breaking down, he tries to force it. Carr's pocket awareness might be some of the worst I've seen this season. Also, his inability to be able to roll out to his right or left. NFL teams know that he's only going to be able to step up into the pocket, and teams plan for that. That makes it a lot more difficult on your offensive line to be able to block. So, Craig, way too long for DC holding the ball. Ty, hey, Mitch, check out the presser for DC. I did watch it. I appreciate it. I know what those guys say, but my personal opinion is this. Pressers, it's just coaches talking a bunch of BS, and it's players talking a bunch of BS as well. It's why I get frustrated when I watch it. Let's go to Eduardo Haro, who was one of our MVPs on Sunday, popped up out of nowhere. Eduardo, cheers to you, bro. Thanks. Love you, bro. It's Monday, Sundays, so I was tuning in and out, and it was heartbreaking. Yeah, Sunday and Monday, they were tough days. Hell, I'm still hurting from that Sunday loss. Let's go to Dirty Max Blake. Mitch, is there somewhere I can bet the over-under on how many times McClown says you know in a press conference? Unfortunately, I don't think that's it. I was going to comment today on the live show that the Raiders were doing, and I was trying to think of the word execute. I was like, are they going to say execute over or under 100 times? Because that right now is the Raiders' favorite word on press conferences. Execute. Execute. Let's go to KenDab1. Thanks, KenDab. Thanks. You know, and if you know where to find the best Raiders content, hey guys, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications. The link is down there below. We are the Raiders Report. We appreciate you guys, and we're always doing our best to keep you up to date.